Slaying Sunnah, Abu Ishaq al-Shāṭibī's concept of Bid'ah in his book Al-Iʻtiṣām, McGill University, 1999, Montreal, Canada, A.S. Jahar. Chapter 3, Bid'ah and Shāṭibī's argument regarding Maslaha Mursala and Istihsan. Maslaha Mursala is public interest, Maslaha means benefit, Mursal means it's free of any legal evidence, and Istihsan is that which a jurist deems to be good, and it doesn't have any textual indicant or evidence either. This chapter deals with the juridical basis of Shāṭibī's argument against those who considered Maslaha Mursala and Istihsan to be forms of innovation. The discussion will examine the efficacy of Shāṭibī's distinction between innovation, which is foreign and even contradictory to the Shari'iyah, and the validity of the legal principles of Maslaha Mursala and Istihsan as subsidiary yet valid sources of law after the Quran, the Sunna, Ijma' and Qiyas, ratio legis. In addition, we shall try to show how Shāṭibī's epistemological reliance on legal theory distinguished him from jurists who shared quite different views on the same matter. A. Bid'ah and Maslaha Mursala. From the standpoint of their lack of explicit textual basis in the Nas, that's the text, Bid'ah and Maslaha Mursala are similar. The former was censured by the Sunna due to its violation of religion, although there was an assumption on the part of some scholars that Bid'ah could be good or bad. Maslaha Mursala, however, was regarded as a legal argument, even though the text did not elaborate explicitly on its commandments and prohibitions. Due to the endless polemics over these two terms, it is necessary for our purpose to examine them from the angle of legal theory, and especially with regards to Shāṭibī's argument. As we saw above in the second chapter, Shāṭibī censured Bid'ah in a universal sense and rejected the possibility that there could be such a thing as a good or a bad Bid'ah. He, however, believed that Bid'ah could only be condoned in matters not attested to in the Quran or the Sunnah. Maslaha Mursala, public interest, on the other hand, although not rooted in a dalil, was regarded by Shāṭibī as legal and in no way is to be counted as Bid'ah. Yet he acknowledged that the validity of Maslaha Mursala is disputed by jurists. In this section, we shall discuss the argument of a Shāṭibī against those who deemed Maslaha Mursala an example of good Bid'ah. Some scholars, such as Vardit Rispla, have argued that the concept of good and bad developed as a parallel system to the Shari'iyah. While it is true that some early scholars classified Bid'ah into good and bad, this position, of course, contradicts the Shāṭibī's belief that any such classification is legally weak. He felt that the justification was based merely on purely rational and therefore arbitrary rather than a legal point of view. This was not, however, the case in the eyes of Maslaha Mursala and Istihsan, which were fully integrated by his time within the juridical system of the Maliki and Hanafi schools. Thus, principles such as Maslaha Mursala can be used in instances where the Quran, the Sunnah, Ijma' and Qiyas fails to yield an answer. In other words, there is no legal or logical reason for the use of good or bad Bid'ah as a foundation for juridical arguments, when there is no need to do so. For unlike Bid'ah, Maslaha Mursala is legally guaranteed as the outcome of ijtihad, which, by definition, recognizes the superiority of the Shari'iyah. Maslaha Mursala is in fact essential to the correct functioning of the law. The rulings which are incumbent upon Muslims cannot all be traced back to the Quran, Sunnah, Ijma' or Qiyas, since many rulings are unspecific in terms of either commands or prohibitions. Maslaha Mursala is in this very sense different from Bid'ah. The former is employed to arrive at rulings based on certain dalils and in deriving legal judgments, while the latter consists in creating a ruling without any precedent or textual basis. Stay tuned for many more parts.